Hi, everybody, and welcome once more, to the OSMcast. I'm Basil.
I'm Eric.
I'm Kevin.
And with us is special guest
Gerald Rathkel from Anime World Order.
Thank you very much for coming on the podcast tonight, sir.
No problem.
This all sort of came about about a month ago, I guess now. It was kind of strange where I thought, well, it's been forever, but we really should do some sort of look back at the 2000 decade. And so we decided to record a top animes of the 2000s. At the same time, y'all were recording like this giant, like month-long extravaganza of podcasts that have covered all the anime in the 2000s.
Yeah, we can't really shut up, so that thing ended up being way longer than we thought. We actually thought we could get it done in 2 hours, like in the beginning, but we got through, I think, 2 years or 3 years in 2 hours.
Yeah, we did a top 10. We barely got just under 2 hours for only 10 anime apiece.
And we overlapped a lot on that, too, so...
And then when I posted it up, someone was like, hey, y'all should do the worst anime of the 2000s. And I was like, okay. And I heard, and since I noticed that you had brought up a bunch of anime you didn't like, and your overall thing, I'm like, I'm going to ask Gerald on. I need Gerald on for this.
So because I'm the biggest hater in anime podcasting, I was the one to call.
Yes. But, sometimes being the hater is okay.
What really stuck out to me was how much you hated everything. So we just decided to do a whole thing on that.
He showed me the wonders of Blood Attack Gotemon.
Yeah, Gotemon? Oh.
Yeah, I ended up...
I should mention that I enjoy anime that gives me a visceral emotional response. And that applies both to anime that I love and anime that I hate. So, even if I hate it, I'm glad that it made me feel something. There's a lot of anime that I put on the list that I struck off because it just left me with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I had a hard time assembling a list because there's a lot of anime I just assumed was bad and didn't watch it. So I had to find things I'd actually seen and went, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, my list was about 29 different shows, and then I had to parse that down, and, well, I guess I can go into it and, how I chose things in more detail when we get to that point in the show.
Okay, but first things first, if you want to hear, our top 10, OSMcast.com, go check out the Index of Awesome, and also for Anime World Order's giganto set of their run, is it now AWO Podcast?
It is animeworldorder.com. AWO Podcast is just kind of the link that we use for masking purposes. But
gotcha.
Always choose animeworldorder.com. That'll always get you there.
Okay. In other news, for us anyways, locally, there's a new convention in Huntsville, Alabama called HamaCon. And we are running, it's June 4th through 6th, I believe. It's the first weekend of June. And we are running a crap ton of panels. I'm doing some about RPGs. We're doing one on sequels and video games. I'm doing one on Urasawa, Tsunderes. We're doing our first thing with audience participation, where Eric and I are doing a Whose Line Is It hentai panel.
Hell yes, pornography and improv.
We've taken the same sketches of Whose Line Is It Anyway, and then reformatted them to be about hentai.
Now, is this a convention that's anime geared, or is it the kind of mix-up of anime and video games and whatever else nerdy stuff?
I think it's designed more of a mix-up, focusing more on anime and video games. One of the main guys who helps running it has done video games for a bunch of other smaller conventions around our area. And so just by that fact, it just naturally shifted more video game-oriented than the average convention goes.
I see.
It feels much more like, what if, an anime con with a little bit of PAX, but just a little bit.
Okay.
Like we're actually having,
Because...
Well, go on.
Oh, I was going to say, because so many cons out there, like, say, hey, we're an anime convention, and then basically half the programming is video game related. So, but it also depends on what the con says it is. So
right,
because we have a convention here that's called EXPCon. That's like in St. Augustine. That's somewhere north of us, and they say straight up we are an anime and video game convention, and they get guests from both sides there. And they had like the voice of Kratos there one year, and voice of Master Chief and such. So, and Vic Mignogna. So,
well,
the devil.
You can't go with your anime a couple anime conventions without stumbling at least on one Vic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I've not killed him in an elevator 3 or 4 times now.
Well, a lot of that is especially the smaller cons when you're first starting up, if there are people that are willing to run content and spend their time and money for free, you're totally on board with that.
Yeah, it's true. Like, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of crafting panels are being done at this con. Most because that's what people offer to do, so that's what they took.
Yeah, that one girl is doing like 10, 15 crafting panels, and so there's a ton of crafting stuff going on.
So is the situation there pretty much like it is in Florida, where it's very rare for any sort of proposition or panel to be rejected, just because they have to fill the slots, so they take pretty much everything?
I think that's more or less how this one went. I mean, I'm not actually I'm not the person who decides, yeah, this panel's good, this panel's bad. But I know that every panel that I suggested immediately went, okay. Yeah, you can run that. But I also think that a lot of my panels also came from MTAC, the Metal TC Anime Convention. So they already knew that they were established, actual working panels.
Okay.
Which, the fools, because this is my first year actually running panels. So.
Oh, it's your first year doing panels or running panels?
Doing panels entirely. Like.
Oh. How many panels did you guys go suggest doing or sign up for doing?
At OhioCon, I only did 2 panels, which was my panel on Tsuderes, and I ran a podcast panel that no one showed up to because I was the only podcast there. But I had 15 people, and they were like, "So, what anime do you like?" And I go, "Well, I like this anime." They're like, "That's pretty cool." And I pretty much BS'd in this gigantic room for an hour. But that was fun. At MTAC, it was much better, and I think we did 3 or 4 panels.
At least 4 panels.
Tsundere, Urasawa,
Takahashi.
What did we do? Another one.
We did one.
Was that Rumiko Takahashi?
Yeah, Rumiko Takahashi.
Yeah, we actually had this discussion.
Okay.
Oh, and
there's multiple Takahashis there, so.
The T panel, that was the other one.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Doug did a panel on T.
I kept making jokes if we were going to talk about Votoms or Leisner, but that was, yeah.
Oh, speaking of things that are coming up, though, at some point, Regan's going to finally put out the Anime 82 third half of his mecha craziness podcast.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure which part I'm in that, but I did a short review for him there.
Yeah, I think you're going to be. I think you're in the third one because I think that's what we're also in the third one. We did one on Maz and Kaiser.
Okay, I did one on Z-Mind.
So yeah, there you go. So there's another one where we're both talking on the same podcast, only just entirely separate sections.
Right.
So there we go. That's the stuff, and I guess we'll cut to a musical interlude, and then we'll get into our least favorite animes of the 2000s.
Bleach! I mean, what?
Got a musical interlude before we talk about the crap.
guess I'll kick off the list. But mine started off with a wonderful little OAV that was called Angel Sanctuary.
Oh, God.
Now, Angel Sanctuary came out in like 1998, so I guess you're going for shows that were actually released in the 2000s in America?
I guess it was it actually, because mine says the anime was released in 2000.
Okay. Well, I went to a convention where it premiered at, and that was like in 2000 or so. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I would totally agree that Angel Sanctuary is one of the worst things ever made.
As long as we can agree on that.
Like, oh my god, I watched that. Yeah, it came out May of 2000.
Okay, it's
Like,
the show that everyone was, that all the characters were upset with the main characters because the brother and sister want to shtup each other, and everyone was, they're like, we just want to have sex with our brother and sister, and everyone's like, no, you can't do that, we're evil.
But is that so wrong? And they're like, yes, yes it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of gross, but yeah.
This is a totally great idea for an anime guy. So I don't know what your problem is.
My ex loved that OAV.
Yeah, I remember that because we watched an anime club one night, and she couldn't stop weeping over how wonderful it was, and I'm like, no,
it's not.
What the fuck am I
and
watching?
thus she is now an ex.
Yes.
Yeah. Divorced that night, actually. No.
We weren't married yet. Yeah, married, divorced. It's a long, horrible tale. Not for this podcast.
But god damn, I hated that show so much. Like, just watching it was like, I mean, as soon as I started looking through the list of stuff that happened in 2000s, I'm like, oh god, this is both my number one on the list, both date and time-wise, and just sheer hatred. Like, I just feel the bile just filling up in my gullet just right now, like, god, how did I waste my time
people
watching
tell me
that
that
crap?
People tell me and swear to me that the manga is better, but I'm pretty sure that to be this bad really requires that you are the original material be at least, if the original material is half as bad, it's still horrible.
I don't understand how you would make that plot better. I mean, if they in any way, shape, or form took their story from the manga, how could you improve on that?
I gather being able to read the manga requires you to get over the squick of the incest aspect. And if you can ignore that, I've heard it's good. But I also can't ignore that, so I haven't
we're
read
from
it.
Alabama, guys. Like, all three people here are podcasting, not 3 out of 4 are podcasting from North Alabama, and we can't get over the incest stick, so...
Well, it's not just the incest. It's like, oh, the angels are demons and the demons are angels. Ooh.
That's never been done before at all. It's
Never.
Totally
Talk
original.
about edgy. Yeah, it's something that I guess a 13 or 14-year-old would find edgy.
Yeah.
So
Got some pretty art that was made in relation to it, but that's really also, again, the manga.
I then followed up with my list of things. So this is, I'm sure, I'm going to get bile and hatred for. But next one on my list is Love Hina.
I agree with this.
that was actually on my 29 list thing, and I actually struck it off as just not bad enough. I mean, it almost made the top 10, almost. But
for me, it was probably more like Eric Hadaway. It was like the fans really went like, "Oh man, Basil, have you seen this show? It's called Love Hina. It's great. This guy, he pisses off a girl, and then she punches him, and he flies through the air. Isn't that hilarious?"
Once.
As my friend James would say, that's fucking anime shtick right there, and I'm tired of it.
It's funny, once, in another show I saw a long time ago.
Yeah, it's funny when that shit happens to Team Rocket. Not to this random dude who's just an asshole. If I want to watch a dude who's an asshole, I'll watch, like, Utsui Yatsura. He's at least a funny asshole. But yeah, it's pretty much the everything that, I dislike in harem anime, just right there, exemplified.
I will admit that it had a couple of clever episodes early on, like maybe the first 5 or so had a few clever episodes, but if it were just 5 episodes long, it probably would just go down as like an average forgettable show for me. But that it's 26 episodes with the same joke over and over again makes it much worse, and it's made even worse the fact that it was like one of the early digisubs that people were distributing all over the place, and people were going wild over it, and I think they were going wild over the fact that it was a digisub.
Yeah. I think that actually probably has a lot to do with it.
Free anime from the internet, it must be good.
Poor fool.
Oh.
I love this era we live in where we can actually afford to hate anime.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't have to love everything that comes from Japan. It's pretty great.
When you spend $30 for 2 episodes,
Yeah, exactly.
You better love that episode.
I loved every episode of Ranma I bought on VHS. You better believe.
But you know what I didn't love? Noir. Noir, you take a concept that should be so easy to make good. Hot chicks with guns. Like, you can do it. It's been done.
Several times.
Dirty pair.
Dirty pair. Guns with cats. But no, Noir, no. It's the same. When you have a show that's a flashback within a flashback, and then you go into another flashback. And they're all from episode 1.
What's worse is that let's take a concept like the Dirty Pair and then have the director of the Dirty Pair movie, the best Dirty Pair thing ever done, make a TV series and then screw it up.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so much worse, is that this should have been good, and it could probably be like one of the best 6-episode series ever, but it's 26 episodes.
What we're saying is that even like the action is horrible too. Like what they'll do is you'll see a shot of the girl holding a gun and then shooting, and then it will cut to the guy falling. Mm-hmm. Like you don't actually see them shoot anybody. It's always the same them pointing and then the guy falling. It's like, can you at least show me them actually shooting the guy?
Well, she totally stabbed a guy in the face with sunglasses once. And that was awesome.
Okay, so it has one cool.
That was like in the first or second episode. So
why couldn't they flash back to that?
Oh well, it's like Gerald said. I think it's going to be a running theme that we're going to get a lot of shows on here that would have been not so bad if they'd only had used the 5 episodes of plot they had, but instead they had an entire 26 episode season.
That's what happens with the death of the OAV market. So they can't just get these short concepts out in a few episodes. They have to expand it to 13 or 26 episodes.
Pad that out a bit, guys.
Mm-hmm. You got 4 episodes of work? Make it 26. You can do it. So
the power's been on you all along.
It means 26 paychecks. Come on.
Yeah, make them lesbians, but not quite. So wuss out and not actually make them lesbians. So, and do it 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
And to do a flashback to a previous time where you almost did it, but not really.
Well, I'm thinking more like, let's do it in Noir, then do it in Mad Lax, and then do it in, what was that other show that they did?
That other show.
It's the same exact thing.
I remember it as, that other show.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that watching the first episode of Mad Lax going, oh, this is obviously the same people who did Noir, and this looks like the same goddamn crap.
Oh man, they made lesbians forgettable. That's terrible.
Yes, for that they will never be forgiven.
But yeah, then moving on is finally I get to a show done by, was it? Ah, yes, Gonzo, Chrono Crusade.
Oh, Gonzo!
It's a trap.
That show looked horrible enough that I didn't even watch an episode of it, so I couldn't say anything.
Well,
and it's by Gonzo.
Didn't the anime club just want to watch it though?
What happened to me was I saw the words Chrono Crusade up for download. I went, oh, I remember Chrono Trigger. I like that. Oh, I wonder if this anime is based in any way. No. Okay. Well, it's Gonzo.
Yeah, then you should just go watch the Chrono Trigger anime, which was horrible too.
Well, that was horrible too.
You guys shut up. I haven't seen it yet. I still hold out hope.
And then I watched this. I'm like, okay, it's a nun with guns. All right. Well, how bad could this? Oh God!
It's not the hammer.
Oh God! No, it's not anything. It's just like it was like, how many bland generic tropes can you throw at me at once, and then do them all crappily? And that's what Chrono Crusade is. At least Gonzo normally will get me from the, at least the first episode might be decent. Maybe.
Sometimes they trick you.
But this one was just, this first episode I'm like, I'm done. I'm so done with the show. And then I taught some of my friends at the
I think that just from like the new type artwork, I could tell that this was going to be a bad show. And I mean, what good shows has Gonzo done, really?
Gantetsuo?
Yeah, Gangetsuo.
Gankutsu, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have issues with that show, major issues, but I could arguably say, that's probably one of the better shows they've done.
I enjoyed Blast Reacher, but it would have been better done by another anime studio.
In other words, basically, you should have known better.
Well, this was the anime that really brought to attention just how crappy Gonzo was. Like before then, I was like, whatever. Somebody I watched the first couple episodes of Hellsing and enjoyed it. I hadn't actually finished Hellsing at this point, but then I realized that, oh God, what did I just inflict upon myself? And then later on, then I went and finished watch Hellsing and went, oh God, what did I just re-inflict upon myself? But so yeah, this is really.
I think we're going to learn that one of the things about this decade is that Gonzo should do what they originally were created to do, and that is 3 to 5 minute long cinemas for video games, because they're excellent at that stuff. They're excellent if there's not really supposed to be any story or anything coherent. But beyond that,
and then they're sometimes okay when they're making up an original story, but when they adapt, it goes straight to hell.
But then I don't know, because they did the anime stuff for Super Street Fighter 4, and that looks like way crap compared to what Studio 4C did in the first version.
Oh, they did. Okay, yeah, I got confused there. Yeah, they did Super Street Fighter 4, not Street Fighter 4.
Gonzo's only gotten worse with time.
Like at this point, they couldn't even do the 2 or 3 minute segments right. Or half the time, I think it was it Blanca's ending or Blanca's beginning, which was literally just panning, still frames.
Mm.
But
that's all of them now. In the Super Street Fighter 4, every one of them, the opening is awful. It's just 3 frames panned with a narration in the background.
Yeah, and the endings are that much better. I really just wish that they had just kept the 4C stuff. That at least, characters actually moved. But anyways, this isn't about Street Fighter.
It will be about Gonzo more as the night goes on.
Bring up a video game thing. Final Fantasy VII Advent Children.
How
that's on my list.
When the cell phone is the most important character in your movie and gets the Aerith's death scene, there's something wrong.
That cell phone deserved an Oscar nomination. I don't know what you're talking about. Did you see the emotion on that cell phone? It was making a smiley face and then a sad face.
Advent Children is not something that surprised me with how bad it was. I knew exactly what it would be, exactly how it would go before I even saw it. But it is, on a technical basis, and by technical I mean the design work and the modeling is fantastic. But on a technical basis, in terms of editing and direction, it's garbage. It's horrible.
Well, even when the director was like, yeah, it's pretty much just a bunch of cutscenes that they're together to inform of a movie. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, even for... And I'm a fan of the original Final Fantasy VII. It's like fan fiction. I think we talked about it on our show, Anime World Order, that this is something that, even if you're a fan of this, you have to be a big fan of Final Fantasy fan fiction. And it helps if you're female, because this seems to be heavily targeted towards people who like watching Cloud walk around with his really weird-looking cut-off jersey and looking sad.
Which is even worse because he should have gotten over that over the course of his video game.
On top of that, it even it contradicts a bunch of stuff in the video game.
It does, of course. Even the video game contradicts itself within the video game sometimes. But yeah,
that's
you're
true.
Right.
But it even contradicts itself. So, what audience was this for? And as far as I can tell, it was for idiots who like looking at shiny things. So
I like shiny things.
I guess Square understands their market.
Yeah, they do very well.
Yeah,
I feel the Blu-ray director's cut and its extra 30 minutes of story was great for the extra 15 minutes of Rude and Reno, and there you go.
Well,
now, did they fix the utterly incoherent fight scenes in it?
A little.
Not really.
I mean, the fight scenes were the worst part of that. I mean, they could not make a coherent fight scene. Everything was cut so quickly that there was no spatial quality in the fight scenes. It was just a bunch of energy. It annoyed me greatly.
They did put a little bit more. There are, like, I think some more frames and a couple little more bits in the Cloud Sephiroth fight scene that were not in
A few more frames?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, I think there's some more frames.
You just need 5 more frames and it would have been a perfect fight.
It would have been
5 more frames.
Yeah. It really is about 15 minutes. It's like a half hour longer. It's about 15 minutes of trying to make the story make more sense and not doing a great job of it. And 15 more minutes of Rude and Reno being Rude and Reno.
Well, they need to go get the guy who did the Dead Fantasy stuff and go, okay, this is how a fight scene is coherent. And...
I met that guy, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did. He did a panel at Anime Boston, which was interesting on a technical level, but he seems to be a little bit full of himself in terms of, like... He showed a clip from his panel, and said, well, I would show you more, but... it's not yet released, but whatever, it was leaked on the internet. I'm like, wait a second. You made this. You're the only person that has the file. You leaked this. Like, how do you, trying to talk like big Hollywood shit? Like, no, this wasn't leaked. You leaked this. So,
No.
I didn't tell him that, but I was definitely thinking it. But, I mean, he definitely can construct a better fight scene than the guys in Advent Children.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I can see that because even in 13, but I remember seeing that finally. I went through the first 25 hours, played the 10 hours of goodness after that, and then they lead you into this weird motorcycle race thing where it's just the motorcycle driving really fast to the screen, and they cut to another shot of a motorcycle driving really fast to a screen into the screen, and they just repeated that sort of motif over and over again. It was the most incoherent action thing I've ever seen out of Square yet, and that was the point where
they know their audience,
and that's the point where I turned it off. And I was done with the game. But yeah. So moving on, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny.
That's on my list.
Is there anyone here whose list that's not on? I'm just
I actually couldn't even get through Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, and so I didn't even get to Destiny. So
Seed I didn't mind because I went through it the same way I actually got through Code Geass, because I was in it for what crazy cliffhanger they would give to me next. Because at the end point of Seed and through the entirety of Code Geass, it sometimes felt like it was more of a soap opera than you would normally see out of an anime. Where you would get
something.
Where you would get sort of things like, and no, I was really your brother, and I was your sister, but we're actually clones.
from Angel Sanctuary. I mean,
and I was like, okay, what fresh crack can you give me today, Gundam Seed Destiny? Seed.
Seed was
what fresh crack can you give me? And I was able to get through it okay. And Destiny did start off pretty good. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where this leads. You did what?
You're not going. No.
The scenes where the best scenes in the show are when Kira goes and God modes and kills everything for me because everyone else was being stupid.
That's not a good sign.
And whenever you have to go into God mode to fix something, and that's your best moments, then it's not a good show.
No. I've randomly ranted about this show for that, just to people who don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, just because it boils up inside me and I just have to say something.
Yeah, I'm actually curious about watching it because, I thought Gundam Seed was crap, but lots and lots of people love Gundam Seed to death. And so I'm very much alone in that opinion of the show. But, I know that Seed Destiny is, one of the biggest disappointments for everybody who's seen it, just because you took one of the most popular Gundam properties of the last 20 or so years and just wrecked it. Just totally dropped the ball on it in every way.
Yeah, Destiny was so bad, I actually gave up on the mecha genre more or less entirely until I watched Gurren Lagann.
Gurren Lagann! Oh, sorry.
Which, restored my faith in mecha anime. And got me to go watch other things that I actually enjoyed that had been made, before and after Destiny that actually existed.
Oh, man, you guys can't see the look that Kevin is giving Basil as he mentions Gurren Lagann saving his Mechanist. It's really funny.
I was giving him no look.
You're just sitting there staring at him like, yeah, Gurren Lagann.
Okay, I don't love Gurren Lagann, but it's okay. It's even pretty
Neither
good.
do I. I think Gurren Lagann is a solid show. I don't think it's a great show. I think the more mech anime that someone has seen, the more okay the show is, as far as I've seen.
But then my next is sort of a 1-2 punch. And this is very solidly on the fans of the show around me, which was Rosario plus Vampire and To Love Ru. They're two different shows, two different companies. One's Gonzo, the other one is not Gonzo. I think it was actually Zebek who did it. But they're pretty much both crappy harem comedies that aren't very
Actually,
good.
Zebek... Yeah, Zebek is kind of like Gonzo's, like the cheaper version of Gonzo, actually. But I actually haven't seen either of those shows. Both of those looked like fan service fetishy shows.
Yeah.
Were they like that?
Yeah, they're pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what they are. And
Sorry, it was Rosario plus Vampire Fetishy Crab. Of course it was.
Yes. I watched a couple episodes of my own free will because I liked supernatural themed shows, and yeah, it was amusing for a couple episodes.
It entertained me for every 30 seconds per episode that tits were jiggling. Other than that,
It actually entertained me for every 5 or 6 seconds where the vampire girl went into her real full vampire mode and beat something up, and that really was about 5 or 6 seconds every episode.
You have your fetish and I have mine.
But mostly because what would happen would be like, whenever I show up at Anime Club for a while, like, everyone would go, oh yeah, Basil hates this, let's vote that in.
I remember that period. Everybody vote for everything Basil hates.
I have the new episode of Rosario plus Vampire. Good for you! You're out of the club.
And for that, these shows will always live in infamy.
I actually have a show on my list that I'm going to that I've chosen as a demonstration of why you need to run your own anime club, and you need to have an iron fist when you run it. You need to say, this is what we are watching. If you don't like it, leave. We are not watching this shitty show that you want to watch that just came out. And there's actually 2 on my list that are actually got there because of this. So that is my suggestion: is start your own club and rule with an iron fist.
And I debated it, but instead I decided I'm just going to form a podcast. Anyways, this one actually could have went right in there, which is Akikon, which is just a harem anime with a really stupid idea, where it's, oh, let's take Coke cans and turn them into cute girls. That's an intelligent decision.
Yeah, I've only heard about this by proxy. I've never seen an episode.
I think I saw one episode of this, and it looked dumb. I wonder about this show, because let me give you a parallel. And this show is not on my list, but there's this show that came with this AOV that came out this decade called Icon, which you might be familiar with. It's like a 2-part thing that's with these girls with enormous breasts.
Oh yeah.
Why does everybody look over at me when he says that?
If I don't want to know, I've heard of it. Yes.
And I actually watched this, and I was kind of wondering about Akikon in the same way. Like, on the surface, this seems like an absolutely horrible show, but I wonder if this was made with the production crew as kind of almost a sly satire. I know that the Icon manga was definitely not satire, but the anime definitely seems more like satire-ish to me. And people kept telling me who were watching Icon that, well, 1 or 2 people that were watching Icon were telling me that if you don't take the concept seriously, it's entertaining. But I guess that wasn't the situation for you.
I really wonder if this show was just made by Brainspace so they can have a very solid crap show, then go, yeah, this was our worst show. Just so you know, that was our worst show.
Nothing will ever
Everything
be
else is pretty good, even though Night Wizard came close.
Yeah, it did.
And then my last 2 are much more recent shows, which one is just, I'll at least give this anime props for knowing what it wanted to do with itself, which was Queen's Blade. it just was nothing I wanted at all in a show, period. But yet, then I watched the first episode out of morbid curiosity and was punished for it.
Yeah, I've not ever made it past the first episode. I hear it has an actual real serious plot amongst the gratuitous fan service, but...
I think that Queensblade knew what it wanted to be and accomplished that very well. So it didn't get on my list. So, but I know that people either hate this show or are embarrassed to like it. So,
like, it really felt like it was a vehicle. Like, okay, let's take this, get all these really popular voice actresses, and make them voice act in this show, and then show what they're voice acting afterwards. Because it has a lot of really popular talent in it.
Mm-hmm.
And these...
Well, voice actresses in Japan will do anything. Like, the amount of
Yes.
hentai that they do is amazing, just they don't usually use their regular names for it.
Yes.
So-
Yeah. So when an H game gets turned into a tame anime, look at the voice actors that do the voices. They probably do the voices in the H game, too.
There was actually a really good situation of that where the voices these voices sounded really similar, and the company explained it away. I kid you not, they explained it away by saying that this is actually her long-lost sibling. This is not...
Yeah.
They sound similar, but they're actually long-lost siblings.
Yeah, sure, guys. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wish I had the stones to say something like that in like an official release.
Well, this is the country that gave us that said it's German ninjutsu. It's ninjutsu from Germany.
From Germany.
Because I say so. That totally exists.
And then finally, my last show is K-On! Because, yeah, the Puppy Bowl. Well, my theory of K-On! Is that, it is very much like you're watching the Puppy Bowl. You've got a bunch of retards who can't survive at all in normal life, but contained within their show, acting like idiots, it's kind of cute and funny to watch. The problem is that what really got me was that then they introduced this female teacher character who almost seemed like a single, moment of awesome where she started being this awesome, like, almost Detroit Metal City parody character. Who apparently, but then they shifted her over from being this, like, teacher who secretly was this crazy, punk rock star chick in her spare time to just being their person they go to when they want their fetish clothing. And I was like, it took the one thing that was really actually neat about this show, which they stole from a much better show, but anyways. And then stupid K-On!
Yes, that kind of sums it up.
Yeah, another show that didn't get on my list, I'd only seen maybe 2 episodes of it, but it just seemed like the show that knew what it wanted to do and did it, and I had no interest in what it was doing, so I didn't really pursue it.
Well, at first it wasn't that bad. I mean, they were more or less like, it almost had more, it wasn't as good as Azumanga Daioh, but it had that sort of more comic-y feel to it, sort of innocent feel. But then as it just went on, they decided to go, screw it. We could do intelligent writing, or we could just put cat ears on them. Let's do cat ears. That seems like an easy way to get some money. And that's what K-On! Sort of, devolved into.
Then the internet was flooded with porn. It was flooded with porn.
It was flooded with porn long before that.
There was no porn before K-On! So
Exactly.
No porn before K-On!
Oh, man. That would put it on my top 10 anime if that was true.
But there's my list of hate.
List of hate.
Does anyone want to go next?
there was very little crossover, actually. I've got there was only one thing on that list that I had.
Excellent.
I'm going last.
All
So,
right.
like, everybody's looking at me now. Like,
Okay. Should I go? I could go.
Go.
This is Kevin's list of peril.
Run, Kevin, run free.
As he unrolls his scroll of doom, which is actually written
On
a
a
Walmart
Walmart
receipt with the only piece of paper I could find this morning. I got some shows. I only really have a list of 9 because there was no Tsukihime anime. ever.
There is no Star Trek V, there is no Highlander 2, there is no Tsukihime anime.
Yes. Okay, that's a popular internet meme, but no, really, yeah, it was bad characterization. It's like it was a bad mismatch of the actual plot from the game, which is pretty decent. And I don't know, that's all I really want to say about it, is it just was, there is no Tsukihime anime.
Now, is it one of those shows that absolutely nothing happens in? Like, this is a Type Moon thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, some stuff happens. There are episodes.
12 episodes, something happens in there. That
content.
she has a drink.
People talk, there's walking.
Like most Type Moon derived anime, it left out all the best bits, although Fate Stay Night did a better job of not leaving out all the best bits, but it didn't even really follow one of the storylines. It kind of jumbled up a mess out of all the possible storylines, and it was not great. And I really liked the game, so that's I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think all of the Type Moon stuff is just going to be stuff that I'm never going to get, because I tried watching Fate Stay Night, the anime, and I got about, I think, 12 episodes in and realized that nothing was happening in the show. And that
something does happen, but it's about like the last 2 episodes.
So it should have been like 3 episodes long then.
It's got Final Fantasy 13 syndrome. 30 hours in, the game starts.
Yeah, that's one. Also, number 2, I'm going to go with Great Dangaio. Not the Dangaio OAV series, because that was sort of cool and is a happy spot in my early anime memories. But the Great Dangaio TV series, that sucked ass. That was
I didn't even want to watch it because I have great love for the original Dangaio, and I hear that they even got the original director back to do this, and it's terrible. I hear like it doesn't even have any relation back to Dangaio except in like the last 10 minutes or something.
Yes, and what amounts to the actual last 10 minutes of the anime would have been a good place to really start the story, because it really ends with no real resolution and every implication that there is a lot left to resolve. And it's like the worst thing from Toshihiko Hirano ever. And he does occasionally do some hit and miss.
He's very miss right now, but he is one of my favorite bad directors.
Yes, Ixer 1 is a great favorite of mine, as is Dangaio. But yeah, that's yeah. And of course, like Basil, I had Gundam Seed Destiny, so that probably does not need to be dwelled on anymore. Other than I hate Luna Maria Hawk and her stupid not military uniform dress skirt. It's like this crappy-ass miniskirt that no sane military would allow anyone to wear, and no one else has a skirt like it, and that's my one horrible point. That we had not mentioned, so I'll move on. Geniro no Olensis. For the most part, no one knows what the hell this is, and that's a good thing.
What is the name of it again?
Silver-colored Olensis, Geniro no Olensis. And the same character designer as Gundam Seed, but then again, he was doing character designs for everything for a couple of years. It's just a really lame 13-episode mecha show. It's like, I love mecha show. It's mainly my main thing. And it was just like, oh, this is, ugh. It actually kind of started me liking it, because it had some sort of unconventional mecha designs, things that weren't really robots, humanoid robots. But it falls apart. The story literally stops making sense around episode 3. The characters are not well characterized at all. And
wow, I've never even heard of this show. I'm actually just looking at like some of the information now, and the character designs in it. The 2 characters that they've got on Anime News Network look exactly like the main characters in Gundam Seed Destiny. Exactly.
I think the only people who subbed it were Shinsen subs, and even they were like on episode 3 going, yeah, this is a really crappy show, but we've already translated all the scripts, so we're going to keep putting it out.
In fact, the opening theme, the title of it is Destiny. What were they going for?
Yeah, that was pretty lame.
Recycling, Japanese style.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everything he does, the characters look kind of similar. The main character of Fafnir looks like Shin Asuka from Seed Destiny. The characters in Revius look like everybody from Seed, although Revius wasn't that bad. That was actually probably one of the better things he's done, but that's...
And his character designs look kind of dumpy anyways.
Yeah. I kind of like Heroic Age, but it's more of a guilty pleasure. But, and let's see. I'm saving that one for last. So, Line Barrel. Hated Line Barrel. Same character designer, once again. That was, people tell me the manga is good. Someday I may recover and check this out. My high point was the first episode where the main character grabs a girl's boob and a giant robot appears. After that, there was nothing left in the show to amuse me.
Well, that's just jumping the shark right there.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you gonna compete with that?
Much like Seed Destiny, of a main character who's an unrepentant asshole, and he doesn't ever get better. I hear this is also not the case in the manga. I believe this is Gonzo. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Gonzo. They took a lot of liberties with the plot, like they do, and I could not, like, when they did talk about it on the internet, it was like, wow, this is just, like, totally wrong, is all I ever heard. But that's, I was really disappointed because, well, we've had a lot of years recently without a lot of good mecha shows, when they used to be fairly common, and it's just, I'm like, oh boy, new mecha show, and it's crap. Yay. Which is how a lot of these shows made me feel. Which, once again, a related point. Hey, I think it's still the same character designer. Dragonaut. That was...
I think I watched 2 episodes of that and was very bothered by just everything in the show.
Yes.
Didn't make my list, but yeah.
I hadn't thought about this when I was writing it down. I'm just getting that same character designer over and over.
He can draw really big boobs, like really big boobs.
Yes, he can.
Well,
and the show had that. The character designer for Gundam, Seed Destiny, Scried, Line Barrel, Dragonaut. If he didn't do Dragonaut, damn, it sure looks like his stuff.
I don't think he did do Dragonaut. I think that's someone else. But the guy, let me check. Yeah, I believe it is someone else. But yeah, he can. Yeah, he can draw gorgeous-looking females, but that's about it.
It might be the other guy who's his friend who used to work with him, who draws almost the exact same way. Whose name eludes me.
I think we got another case of someone who knows exactly the audience he's
he is.
catering to.
He's got boobies and dragons that are kind of like mecha. And it's just, oh god, the plot just is so over the place and not in a good way. And the character, unrepentant asshole main character, apparently I don't like this. And the girl who loves him for some reason, who is also a dragon. Yeah.
Oh, well, that case,
yeah.
And here's a show that I actually feel a little reluctant putting on my list because I think I've only seen like 5 episodes, but that was enough to make me go, ugh. That's Kissdom. Now, I've only seen 5 episodes because there really weren't any reliable fan subbers, and then it got licensed, and it's still not come out in the U.S. I think they were just protecting the rest of us.
What's it called? Kissdom?
Engage Planet Kissdom. It's got mecha designs that were done by Shoji Kawamori, and that's all his involvement. And those mecha are pretty much gone after episode 3. But okay, the show was so bad that episode 4, the first 10 minutes of episode 4 was reanimating the last 10 minutes of episode 3 because it just kind of turned to still pictures and talking. I hope the DVD release, if there was one, fixed that. But
listeners, if any of you out there have never heard of any of Kevin's anime list, it's okay. Neither have any of we.
Yeah, I watch oddball things.
I actually never heard of this, and I'm looking at it now, and it does have some sweet-looking some mech designs in it.
It's cool, and basically it's got, the the Earth has decided to kill all of humanity, and all these like sea monsters coming out of the ocean, and it looks promising, and the animation just falls to shit in episode 3, and then all the mecha go away, and there's a time skip, and you've just got a guy who apparently has the Necronomicon in his chest and has superpowers. And
he's got an entire book in his chest.
Well, you don't see it anymore.
It's inked in blood.
It's somewhere in him, and it looked like it was going to have some Lovecraft references, and I liked that. But people stopped reliably fan-subbing it, and it was crap.
And what was the name of this again?
Kissdom.
Engage Planet Kissdom?
KISS-DUM.
And this was something you thought would be a good idea.
I saw Mecha Designs by Shoji Kawamori. That was all I needed, and I now regret this. Also had an opening by 2Mix, and it was like about the first thing they did once they reformed. And that was not bad.
So you're saying that they could have just called it KIS-DUMB,
yes,
and it would have been fine.
For all I know, if they ever made a DVD release, they made it awesome somehow with re-editing, but, they've just not done that.
Man, and this got licensed? Jeez.
It got licensed, and it's not been released, and it's been licensed for a few years now. I don't know if they're just sitting on it, or...
Who licensed it?
Bandai Visual.
Yeah, Bandai. I believe it was Bandai who made it, so that's... I think... Did I miss... Oh, yeah, I skipped over Valkyria Chronicles on my list to go through stuff that seemed more related. Yeah, Valkyria Chronicles. I didn't like Valkyria Chronicles. I loved the game, hated the anime. Characters were, once again, their personalities just didn't match the game. There's, one character who was she, had the pacifist flaw, so occasionally she got, penalties to hit things. But in the anime, she's like, I can't hurt anybody! And somehow the love interest turned into, way more of a tsundere than she ever was in the game, because I guess people like tsunderes. I mean, we did a panel on that once. And, hey, it's a silly thing, but it bothered me. Nobody's shooting anybody in the head. In the game, I'm always headshotting people. More damage. No one would, shoot anyone in the head. If you've not... It's a strategy based on a strategy game. It's a very alternate history, World War II. To the point where you're really fighting the Roman Empire.
The game's really good.
Yeah, the game is awesome and an interesting hybrid of real-time moving and turn-based strategy. But anime was ugh. It's I really like this game and I wanted to like the anime. So yeah,
a fine example of the talent suck that's been happening from anime to video games for the past 15 years or so.
Yes,
that this video game is original and interesting and well designed, and the anime based exactly on it, and all the material is there, just drops the ball.
Yeah, and there was an oddball love triangle for no reason.
Oh god, the Xenosaga anime was horrible.
Yeah,
that was awful.
They made an anime out of that cutscene?
Yes, they did.
I mean, video game?
It would have been better if they just ran a thing where it was just a cutscene.
Yeah, that would have
been. Yeah, I know. I was about to say, how do you make a... it's like making a movie out of a movie. It's,
That almost made it on here. I probably should have, but only got 2 more. Pumpkin Scissors. And I'll say the manga is good. But the anime, they promised, and I went and read the manga later. The anime, they promised me a guy who can kill tanks single-handedly with only a pistol, and they give me that for a couple episodes. Then they do other silly things. And it turns into a weird little slice-of-life comedy show that's not as funny as it thinks it is. Then they get some action back at the end.
I watched a couple of episodes of it, and I liked a lot what I saw, actually, like him beating the tanks up, but I didn't watch up to the point that you're saying that you got to. So,
yeah, it kind of goes away.
He beats up tanks, and then he stops beating tanks for pretty much the rest of the show.
Yeah.
What's the point of the show, then?
Yeah, exactly.
It gets some action back in at the end, but after our first few episodes, it's mostly them in the capital of this quasi-German European country.
Here's the answer. It's made by Gonzo. Move on.
Yeah, true. Another Gonzo.
Yeah, there you go.
And
man, that Muppet just messes everything up.
For my final most hate, the only thing I can say on this list that I truly hate, and it's my one hate anime, it's a Gonzo anime, Strike Witches. I hate this show.
I didn't even want to watch that show. So,
Well-
how much of it did you watch?
Knowing Kevin, all of it.
I wish I not as much as there is of it.
How much? Kevin? Come on, we need to know how many episodes.
I've really only watched the first couple episodes all the way through. There were a couple other episodes that are like, oh, you should skip up to here. It gets good. You should check this out. It's good in this episode, and it's not. And it's, to be honest, I liked when I saw just the premise on paper. If you've like witches fighting aliens in an alternate history World War II, it's some kind of weird multinational strike force. I'm like, okay, that's crazy enough. It might be awesome. And it wasn't. And they don't wear pants. And the DVD version is just... The DVD versions are even worse, where it's like just pretty much softcore loli porn.
Stuff's just hanging out all over the place.
It is.
Cats and dogs
have
living together.
They have an episode where, okay, they don't wear pants. They wear underwear, and they somehow pretend they're wearing pants. And they have an episode where their underwear gets stolen.
This sounds like a great anime. I don't know what you guys probably...
They're all like 10.
You've got a thick skin for actually like finishing this.
I really didn't.
Oh
Or
man,
getting as far into it as you did.
Kevin's a glutton for punishment.
I
when it
mean,
comes to
some
anime.
of the, when they're flying around being witches with weird little propeller leg things, killing stuff with machine guns and swords, is sort of cool.
But incredibly creepy.
They do work in some bizarre World War II references, and almost all the characters are based on like actual World War II pilots, except now they're like 10-year-old girls, which is also creepy in its own way. And, oh, I hate
Wow.
Strike Witches. We're getting a second season. God help us, because Gonzo's making hand over fist with their softcore loli porn.
But they're not. Gonzo's not even making the second season.
Yeah, they moved it on. Now, I guess there's a chance it could be less creepy.
No, I don't think you can make that premise less creepy.
Like, its spiritual cousin is, I guess, would say Sky Girls, and I did not find that nearly as creepy. But also, it wasn't that good either. But yeah, it's just Strike Witches is just, it's, I don't know, it's just this like offends every part of me somehow, just in its whole execution.
I've become a ball of hatred.
Yes. And although the English release trailer with the fighting the war on pants was sort of funny, but
There's some wars that are made to be lost.
yes,
People just put on a effing pair of pants.
yeah. I mean, seriously, these girls need a decent pair of pants. They just need a decent pair of pants,
Or at least wait till you're 16 before you start taking your pants.
give them some shorts at least
Yeah,
or something. I mean,
something.
come on.
Training no pants, Give them real short skirts up until they're right age, right?
Oh, but yeah, that's me. I kind of blew through them because this is going to be a really long podcast. But
Okay.
I think that was 10. If not,
Yes,
close
10.
enough.
That was 10.
Okay, who's next?
I think you're up on the deck, Joe.
Eric insists on going last.
Okay, I will try to blow through these. These aren't really in. These aren't really in order of like worst to worstest. They're just kind of in order of how I found them.
I did that too.
The first one I've got on the list. Yeah, the first one I've got on the list is from 2000, I believe, 2001, called Pilot Candidate. This ranks as just one of the worst shows I've ever seen in terms of just, it's 12 or 13 episodes, it does nothing, it goes nowhere, it has no ambition, and it ends with nothing. And it's amazing that this show actually got made. And what's even more amazing is that several years later an OAV got made, so people bought it.
So obviously, wow.
Yeah,
it's
that aired on Cartoon Network, didn't it?
Yes, I think it did, yeah.
I
Candidate
never
for Goddess it was called as well.
I never saw it, but like by the time I like had thought I would want to see it, but before I ever got a chance to see it, I'd like heard it just blows from so many people.
They didn't play long.
Yeah, it tried very hard to have a lot of like fan service moments for girls, like guys in short shorts falling all over each other and such. So, but it was just a lousy show on just every level.
Yes.
Okay, my next show is a little bit later, and something that very few people saw. It was there was this net animation called Maho Yugi, magical Maho Yugi, but they came out with a 3D direct-to-video version of it called Maho Yugi 3D. And this was some of the worst 3D animation I've ever seen. It was basically about this girl who wanders around inside a fish. Like, she just walks around and she's like wearing a fish, and this fish is alive around her. And she will like pull off bits of the fish and eat it, and the fish is alive, so it like screams. And but it was a terrible, terrible show. Terrible one part. I believe that the net animation was better, but it's worth pulling up to see just what the standard of 3D animation was back then. So
I think I've seen.
I can guarantee you, I will go pull this up, and I don't care about 3D animation, but a fish screaming as a girl walks around inside it or something sounds awesome.
I've been wondering what the hell that was. I think I've seen some clips from that.
Yeah, that's all. I think that's been on 4chan or something, and I've gone, what?
it might have been. I know that the 3D the net animation might have been better. It was one of the early direct to the net animes. And the next one on my list is a one-shot from, I don't know, like 2003 or 4 or so, based on a game. The game must have sucked, and this sucked too. It was called Early Rains, and this was licensed. This was very hard to talk about, and this got on the list because this is just bad enough to give me a visceral response, even though there's almost nothing to say about it. It's an anime set in the West, and it's just got a bunch of these cute girls that they are basically like personality type A, personality type B, and C, and you like this sort of girl, you like that sort of girl. I'm actually amazed that it got licensed. It must have been part of some sort of package deal.
It must have.
Has anybody here seen? Yeah, anybody seen this?
I can't even say I've heard of this.
No,
that's
yeah,
weird. I'm shocked to hit anime I haven't heard of.
This is you've amazed me. You've stumped both Basil and Kevin, and I considered them the biggest anime brains I knew. And
well, maybe people have seen this one. And in terms of like bad 3D anime, this guy is almost one of the worst I've seen, and he continues to work. This guy is named Romanov Higa, and his first work was this net animation called Erda, and this actually got released here as well by Media Blasters. I guess Media Blasters is the place to go to release some real crap sometimes, and this is again terrible 3D anime. It's about these cute girls who are fighting Nazis, and if you described some of the scenes in it, it would sound awesome, but the reality is that he didn't really have any sense of like how to put together an action sequence. Like there was a scene of these girls like riding a motorcycle on top of a train and such, and fighting on top of a train. This like could work in theory, but just ends up being painful. And the guy went on to make like SWAT Cats, which was a one shot based on Dominion Tank Police. And he also recently made one of the worst things I've ever seen ever. God, what was it? It was Cat Blue Dynamite. Again, have you guys ever heard of this?
I've heard that.
I thought I had heard of SWAT Cats until you said it was a one-shot. I thought you were talking about the Radical Squadron.
SWAT Tank or something.
Oh, no, SWAT Tanks or something like that. SWAT Cats was actually a pretty cool show.
That pissed me off. The SWAT Tank thing. That pissed me off. I love almost everything Masafune Shiro. I didn't remember that till now. You brought up bad memories. That should have been on the list.
I have to go rewrite my list. I'll be back.
Also, another one that got on the list. This one, people, if they've seen this show, they will argue with me about this. This is Yugo the Negotiator. Any of you guys seen this show?
I think I might have seen an episode or two.
Yes. That's a vague
This show got on my list. Oh, yeah. This show got on my list because this is the biggest, letdown in a show. The concept is awesome. It's about this guy named Yugo and his job is to basically go around to high-risk areas where there's, really bad things going on and negotiate with terrorists and try to get out of it. The problem is that this is a show that I believe the manga was a shonen manga. If this had been a seinen manga, this could have been amazing. But because it's a shonen manga, they have to dumb things down a lot, and they spend an enormous amount of time torturing him. Like, the main character sort of sits around, he gets tied up in the sun, so his, skin starts to melt off and such. And it got on this list because it's just a tremendous, tremendous waste. The concept of the anime about a negotiator would seem like such a really, really great idea, but it just dropped the ball. Yeah, it drops the ball. That's why I even bought the first disc of it sight unseen, just based on the concept, and I was so disappointed by it.
Yeah, I think I actually have seen this. I just remember going through all the
familiar.
same thing, going, "Oh man, dude, to go to a terrorist, that sounds awesome." And you're right; it's the same thing when I'm always leery about movies where it's a dude, like live action movies in America, where it's a dude who's supposed to shoot a bunch of other dudes. Yeah. And if it's an R-rated movie, chances are it's going to be awesome. But if somebody see it's PG-13, I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, and it's the same thing here. If they made this for young people under the age of 14, it sucked. If they made this for seinen audiences, this would have been terrific. But totally dropped the ball. Mm-hmm. Another one on my list is one of the best-selling anime titles of the 90s, Karis, released by Manga Entertainment. Karis, this was, I guess, the 30th anniversary or 40th anniversary of Tatsunoko.
Yeah.
And so they kind of put out this big work to kind of show what Tatsunoko is about. And Karis was awful. The fight scenes in it were terrible. They were what they were trying to do was they were trying to go for a they were trying very hard to go for kind of a tokusatsu feel or like a live action feel in it. And this does not translate well to animation. And so a lot of the fight scenes are very literally Karis dashing at a guy, and then there's a flash of light, and then Karis is behind the guy, and then the guy falls over. And
it was kind of disappointing. I am a fan of the tokusatsu genre, and it was really disappointing.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, another one on this list. This is just an infuriating show for me in general. Trinity Blood.
I was so debating putting that on my list. Oh my god!
There we go.
That was on the potentials. Yes.
Yeah, the Trinity Blood is just the biggest, worst sort of vampire wank fest I've ever seen. Like goth, shitty, hot topic bullshit, and the type of thing that you'd see Hot Topic asshole kids wearing T-shirts of. I hated this show. The story
I have seen.
God,
the story of it was very, very generic, and you'd think that with the characters like the Robo Pope that this thing could have been kind of good, but it just wasn't. I think they spent I think they spent an enormous amount of time designing the characters, because the only people that I know that will support this show are cosplayers. In fact, one of the most talented cosplayers I know made a very elaborate costume from the show, and I got on her case really badly because she made a costume from one of the worst shows ever. But she made it just because it would be challenging.
Everyone I know of Anna really liked this show. We're all cosplayers.
This was really popular with people.
Yeah, the costumes are elaborate.
Yeah, the costuming club loved Trinity Blood. Didn't they do the Huntsville Costuming Club? Didn't they do a Trinity Blood set?
No, they decided on Castlevania.
That's right, they decided on Castlevania because Trinity Blood would be too hard. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay, Castlevania is acceptable, but Trinity Blood, no. There's just no excuse. It's like the worst sort of Hot Topic shit that I've seen.
The main character himself looks like Vash Stampede if you churned him out through Hot Topic and spit him out. That's what that would look like.
Yeah.
I have heard vague mutterings that the novels the anime was based on were better, but
the person died before they could finish them.
Yeah.
So you're stuck with no ending ever.
Right.
It's like reading most fantasy novel series nowadays.
Yeah.
You leave poor Robert Jordan alone. He hasn't done anything to you.
It's kind of like the Highlander series. Like people say, Highlander 2, that's a shitty movie, but Highlander 1 was good. No, Highlander 1 was an awful movie. It just seems better in comparison to Part 2, and all of Highlander is shit.
Oh, go to hell. Highlander rocks.
It does rock, yeah. The
Sean
Queen
Connery, big
soundtrack.
swords and stuff.
Well, we're going to get down on this after the podcast.
No, the Queen soundtrack, and that soundtrack does rock.
Yeah, but you can just buy the soundtrack. You don't have to watch the movie.
Okay, I'll be here all day if we keep this.
We
Okay.
finally got something controversial, and it's not actually anime.
Yeah, I'm going to delete my one entry of Advent Children because I realized that I had a grave error in not including this show. This is one of the most irresponsible shows I've ever seen, and that is Earth Girl Arjuna. This came out like 2002, 2003, and this is the show that definitively showed that Shoji Kawamori should never be allowed to do anything other than mech designs. This was his baby. This is the one that he was like the director of, and I believe he was either the writer or the co-writer of. And
Pretty much did everything,
this was his baby. Yeah, and it on a technical basis. This show is beautiful. It's got lots of money. It's got a Yoko Kanno soundtrack, but it is irresponsible. It is this earth-hugging Greenpeace bullshit show that really distorts kind of the message like that it wants to get across in very, very childish ways. For example, they tried, and they do gross things in it too. Like the main character was like really sick at one point, and then they go home to her parents' place. And so, what does her mother do to help her? Her mother grinds up her own placenta and puts it into tea for her to drink. And they say, this is really good because, she's drinking the placenta of, from her original mother, and this is giving her the nutrients. By the way, this placenta was like preserved, and this girl is like 18 years old or something.
I was about to say, like, this placenta was just
I never got
hanging
that
around.
far into the show.
Yeah,
Placenta in a jar in the fridge.
Yeah, and then they do these just corny, irresponsible, stupid things. Like they have the main character eat a hamburger, and she bites into this hamburger, and very akin to like Requiem for a Dream, where the guys are like shooting up LSD or cocaine or whatever, and you get like the shot of their eyeballs and such. There's this like these rapid shots of her eating biting down on this hamburger, and you see this bloody, greasy meat, and then it shows like the cows in the fields being all happy, and then it shows the cows at the slaughterhouse, and then it shows this meat going through a grinder. It's like, come on, Greenpeace assholes! Like, stop it.
Just want to eat a burger.
And the guy who wrote that probably stopped for a hamburger afterwards.
Yeah, this show is full of that shit. They even like talked about how you shouldn't put any sort of pesticides or anything on your crop because when animals are eating it, all they're eating are the dead parts of the plant. They're actually preserving it, which is not true. So, Earth Girl Arjuna just counts as one of the really irresponsible shows. It's a terrible, terrible show and should never be seen by anybody. And added to that Shoji Kawamori just isn't talented. He's fantastic when it comes to mech design, but he should not do anything else.
I like the Aquaria.
The other show...
That's all I'm going to say about that.
That I never saw. Is that the one where people have orgasms while they're transforming?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wait, what? No, I have to watch
Well, they
this
can form the giant robot. They kind of have this weird spiritual merging thing, and yes, they do kind of all make orgasm faces. It's a weird hodgepodge show. You either love it or hate it. And I think he directed it. Oh well.
I believe he did actually. Yeah. I know he was certainly involved in that show to a great degree.
And it's in his own words, it really is him doing Get a Robo. and
Oh dear.
It's love it or hate it.
So it's like oh god, I don't know. That doesn't sound good at all. But this is the show that I don't know. People have kind of associated me with hating, just because this is when I don't hold my iron fist at my anime meetings, and this is the shit I have to watch. This is Code Geass.
Yes.
Code Geass.
Sorry.
Code Geass is a sloppily written show. The entire. I mean, have you guys seen the show?
Yeah.
Or know anything?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but
Don't we have a couple people put that in the top 10 on the favorites?
Brad put it in the top 10.
Brad put it in the top, and we have in fact done an OSMcast on its good points.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what I was
Because
thinking
it's an interesting show in some ways, but yeah, go on, Gerald.
Yes, tell us why it's horrible.
well, yeah, I'm very bothered by the fact that the show, especially fans of the show, will make excuses for the show. The Geass itself, and I won't explain what it is because I know you guys know what it is, but I guess for your audience, the idea is that it's this kind of thing in the main character's eye that allows him to tell any person anything, or gives any person a direction, and they have to follow it, and he can only do this once. And it is so irresponsibly used. If you had someone in front of you who was a very influential politician who could help you, do something, would you tell him to jump on one leg? What the hell? Oh, that made me so angry.
Maybe once.
But you can only use
That's
it
all you can do is
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
You do it
Yeah,
once,
exactly.
and that's it.
There's other politicians.
And then the Geass itself, like the device itself, is this item that the entire purpose of it, as far as I can tell in the show, is to either be totally useless, to be some sort of very lame comedy trick, maybe. They use it to comedic effect it a few times, and it's very hard for me to take this seriously as a comedic effect when you can only use it once in your damn life. Or it is used to screw the story up as soon as the story is coming together. I don't know if you guys watched the second season, but the means by which the show got a second season is the biggest pile of bullcrap I have ever seen in a show. It is the most convenient crap I've ever seen, and the way that they justify that, what happens to them getting a second season, we have to sit through this horrible, horrible arc with this awful, awful villain, just so that someone can't say, well, that hasn't happened before. And then, so they say, no, it did happen in these awful 3-bit episodes that that were just there, just so you could prove that it has happened before. So, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. And to the audience that is listening to this that hasn't seen the show, it's probably they're very frustrated. But because I'm not explaining in detail what it is, but I feel like I should spoil it because I don't want anyone to watch this show.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah,
we spoiled it at some point.
spoiled it
Spoiler
already.
alert,
Yeah.
go for it.
Okay, I'll spoil it then. The idea is, and by the way, I'm bad with characters and I'm bad with details. But also, I was not caring a shit about the show by this time. But the idea is that things are kind of working well. And by the way, if you guys see I'm getting a detail wrong or need to add a detail, please go ahead and add it. But things are working together. The Japanese and the British seem like things are almost coming together. And so, by the what was the main princess's name again? Euphemia. That's it.
Euphemia,
My wonderful roommate's helping me out here, and yeah, she's never seen the show and she knows the character's name. But anyway, Euphemia is going to have this big talk, and she's going to say, there's going to be finally friendship between the Japanese and the British, and so they pull out Lelouch, because Lelouch is kind of the symbol of this revolution. And then Euphemia is asking him about this Geass, and he's saying, well, yeah, I can tell anybody to do anything. Like, for example, if I said, kill all of the 11s, and it were on, you would have to kill all the 11s. And just conveniently, as he says that, his Geass turns on accidentally. And so now she runs out and says, hey, kill all the 11s, and then the military starts mowing down all of the Japanese people. This is the most head-slapping bullshit moment I've ever seen in anime. Like, what sort of writing were they doing at this time? it's infuriating.
It's, oh, hey, guys, I got greenlit for another season. Woohoo! Okay, how do we make this work?
It's just
How do we drag
lazy,
this out?
lazy writing.
Anime by the Three
I mean,
Stooges.
it's like, have you guys ever seen the Naked Gun 33 1/3? I think it was.
Yeah.
Where they were at the Oscars, and they had like geriatric park and such, and there's a scene in it. And there's a scene in it where where the bad guy is pointing a gun at Leslie Nielsen. Or no, Leslie Nielsen's got a gun on the bad guy, and the bad guy says, "Hey, look over there!" And Leslie Nielsen looks, and he like slaps the gun out of Leslie Nielsen's hand, and the entire audience at once just slaps their head, like just what a doofus. That's what I'm wishing that the entire anime audience watching that was doing.
I know I did it during that scene.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
not even like the extent of my complaints are even further than that, in that it's a show that believes that the only way to attract either a male or a female audience is not through having interesting characters and a thoughtful storyline. It's through having guys that may be gay, maybe they're not gay, and girls that appear in bunny outfits and swimsuits a lot. And during the second season, they even were losing, apparently, their male audience, so they said, oh, let's up the girls in bikinis quota. And that's kind of insulting to me. Like, it's one thing if it's, Queensblade, where that is kind of the design of the show, but this is a show that thinks it's smart, and it thinks that it's actually... It thinks for a second that it's going to actually inspire people or something, and it's not. It's just crap.
Yeah, the entire reason why I watched this show is for, okay, what kind of crazy ass shit are you going to pull me? Oh, she's going to kill all the 11s now. Okay, how do you top that?
But
and that's
what
why I
other
watching the show
crazy
for.
ass shit? What crazy ass shit, as you said, happens other than that? Like the show just that's like the one thing that happened, and then I mean that was 26 episodes of really kind of badly done show leading up to that. I couldn't keep watching.
The second season actually gave me a thing where it was like, I actually started getting angry and angry the more I watched the second season. And it got to the point where
I was
I'm
hating
like,
the show by then. Oh, go on.
And it wasn't until like the final episode where I went, okay, well, you're not the worst thing I've ever seen, so I'll give you a pass. But yeah, like,
well, it's only because the ending, like the thing that happens last, is what has been interesting. It's a really great idea. The problem is they had horribly lazy writing to reach that point.
Yeah.
Like it's this, well, we'll create this big political drama, and we'll work it like this and this and this, and we'll be a really intelligent show, and then we paraded out girls in bikinis.
Pretend to be an intelligent show, or think they're an intelligent show.
Exactly, and
I think the last episode of Code Geass was really good. How they got there was not.
Well, I think the idea behind what was going on at the end was great. I just don't think that they didn't bother to actually write it. You know what I mean? Like somebody came up with a great idea and was like, let's do this at the end. We could have the whole series revolve around this. And then the writers got lazy and didn't bother to actually plot that out.
Yeah, they didn't quite.
I think I might have. Go on.
They didn't quite get to that it's like they had the good idea and the writers somehow couldn't quite write around that to make it good. But like I do know someone who saw the last episode first, and then they were like, "Oh God, I've got to watch the rest of this series just from the last episode." And then they're like, "Oh, yeah."
I think I actually would have liked the show a lot more if the Geass never existed, because the existence of the Geass forces me to say, well, you can only do this once. You need to do it well. You need to do it right. Don't fuck it up. And when did he ever use the Geass in that entire show that wasn't a total waste? Name one time in that entire show that it wasn't a total waste.
I think he might have went to some person, hey, don't kill me. They were about to kill him, so they didn't kill him. I think
maybe
that probably...
that's when he made all
Maybe
those soldiers shoot themselves in their head.
That would suggest
instead of
him not dying was a good thing.
Well, it was the first episode, so I didn't know that it was a bad thing yet.
To be fair, yeah, the first few episodes, and that's when he didn't know what his limitations were. But,
yeah, I think that the Geass itself, like, if it hadn't existed, it would sit as kind of just this mediocre sort of shitty fan service mech show. But as with that Geass, it just reaches a new level of bad for me and a new level of lazy.
I kind of liked Lelouch, his like way over melodramatic nature. Just the way he was just fun to listen to ramble. I mean, it didn't have to actually make any sense. Just the actor himself was just fun to watch play himself or play that character.
I could deal with that in a movie, but 26 episodes of this 13 or 14-year-old guy acting like a big shot when he's not, and then planning things carefully and fucking up constantly, kind of got annoying.
Yeah, and
like he always fucked things up constantly.
Yeah. And my other point, the other thing I really liked from Code Geass, probably the only other thing, was the Emperor of Britannia, because Norio Wakamoto is always good.
Norio Wakamoto is always good, but he's also in real shit.
He is, but he's always entertaining.
Well, he's always in a lot of stuff, though. I mean, so you take the bad with the good.
Yeah, if the good thing about a show can be summed up in a YouTube video, then it's not good.
Probably not.
But we probably should move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is probably the most passionate thing that I hate. The next thing I just hate a lot. It's just this is just a bad show that I got kind of forced to watch for a few episodes, and this is a very recent show called Black Butler, Kuroshichuji.
Yeah, I saw some of that.
Yeah, it's a horrible show, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a horrible show.
Yeah. Kevin likes everything. Like, you can't get him to admit.
I have a hard time to say I hate a show other than Strike Witches, but yeah, it wasn't that great. I wanted to like it, but it didn't do it.
The only reason that this isn't like worse is because Trinity Blood exists, because this is the same sort of Hot Topic shit.
I wanted to like it because it was like Victorian England, and that's kind of just a neat setting. But
it didn't look like it used the setting at all.
No, not really.
It's Hot Topic Victorian England.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's steampunk, but not steampunk because steampunk is bullshit.
Victorian Romance Emma, it ain't.
Yeah, it's not Victorian Romance Emma, not by a long shot.
No, but it's a show that it's bothersome because I know that the reason that a lot of these things are in the show is because the female audience must have fetishes for it. Like, the main character is this little boy that walks around in shorts, and he is very, very closely guarded by the Black Butler character, and this is bothersome as well. It's a show that he's got like these servants who are absolutely terrible servants. I think they're supposed to be there for comic relief. All I can think of is, why are they servants? Apparently this is answered later, but I couldn't care.
They apparently turn out to all be incredible badasses, just lousy servants.
Problem is that, are they badasses, or are they badasses in terms of they jump around a lot and there's really, really badly done action sequences?
Well, that, yes.
Because that's what I got too from the one of the big problems I'm seeing is that animating an action sequence it's very, very rare that one is done very well. And that if you don't have the money to do it or the talent to do it, then I don't think you should do it. And that show did it a lot.
Yeah, I watched an episode. That was an episode. I moved on.
Yeah, I watched, I think, 6. I would have stopped at 2, but the people I was watching with actually liked the show, which disturbed me greatly.
Yeah,
so,
6 is definitely enough to get a feel for the show and I've seen a few more, but I just kept hoping it would get better.
But boy, is it popular.
Yeah. Then I skipped to the end. Butler kills him.
And it's another show that is popular with cosplayers.
Yeah,
it is.
This really, really
cool
popular
outfits.
with cosplayers. Yeah, but you can get cool outfits in like an art book. Like,
True.
you can just have an art book called "Shitty Steampunk Victorian England Bullshit," and people
write that
would buy
down,
a
Eric.
cosplay from it.
You've just made me
Make
millions,
Eric.
Gerald.
Yes, and that is my list, guys.
Awesome.
All right, Eric, bring us home.
All right, I'm going to blow through these
Heard
because
us all.
I'm not actually as huge an anime fan as the rest of the guys here, so this is kind of my anime that's fucking annoyed me list.
That works.
Number one.
Well, this will be an interesting list then.
It's Ice Shield 21. Listen up, Japan. You don't understand football. Like, stop trying. Oh my god, every time this show comes on, I start vibrating because they're doing something wrong.
Now, I get the impression that you're a big football fan then. Like, do you watch the Super Bowl and football in your spare time?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of SEC football. I watch a lot of... I plan to eventually coach one day, so it's kind of one of those...
Okay. That's an interesting perspective, because I really like the show, but I don't care about football.
Yeah,
and so,
likewise.
Well, it's
like,
one of those
I
things-
think that it's... Oh, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, when they stop talking about football mechanics and are actually just doing the show, I actually like Ice Shield. It's just that they'll start to try to explain the football mechanics because it's being funded by the NFL to try to train little Japanese kids to like NFL football. And for some reason, the Japanese people they have describing the game of football do it wrong. And it's like, oh my god, like, just do your plot. Stop trying to explain football.
The actual funny
That's
thing
interesting, yeah.
is that the only reason why, like, Ice Shield 21 is actually the anime that got me into sports anime. And the reason why I watched this show was like, oh, hey, it's a show about football. Oh, I'm going to show Eric this.
Yeah, Eric loved it. He actually bought me the first volume
of the manga.
Of the manga, gave it to me, and I read it. I was like, what is this shit? Like, what have you done?
And I was like, it's football!
See, that's a really interesting perspective, and I can kind of understand it. Like, people really got on my case about me not liking Summer Wars. And my job is IT administrator. And Summer Wars has total utter bullshit when it comes to computers and IT and anything technology related. That's not the reason that I dislike that, but that is something that piled on for me that made me dislike the show. Like, there was no research done whatsoever. And I suppose it was kind of the same for you for the football aspect of it?
Very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing worse when you run into a story, anime, book, movie, whatever, when they take, like, your hobby or personal interest and get it totally wrong.
They do it totally wrong.
Thank God Odame had people who can actually play instruments.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm going to group the next two are going to be grouped together, and it's because I hate them for the same reason, and it's Desert Punk and Grenader. And it's because there are two anime that everyone ran up to me and said, Eric, you're going to love this. It's totally awesome. It's totally you, Eric. And, like, they were total shit. And I'm like, what do you think? Do you think I'm a moron who likes shit? Is that what this is? Like, Grenader was some Japanese guy thought of a neat scene of someone reloading a gun with their tits and then made an anime
That would have been really funny as one episode. Like, if it were one episode... Yeah, a one-shot thing, I would have been like, hey, check out this ridiculous show about a girl who reloads guns with her tits.
Like,
But how can they extend that to an entire show?
What it should have been a female adversary for Cobra in an episode.
Yeah, that would have been awesome, too. That would have been amazing.
That would have been great.
Again, one episode, but not 13.
Exactly. How do you get 13? I got given this DVD, and I remember looking at the friend that gave it to me and going like, "You just hate me, don't you? You think I am nothing but a guy who likes tits. Like, that's all I am to you."
Now, I actually enjoyed Desert Punk up until he took the mask. The main character took his mask off, which was like episode 3. Like before that, it was actually a fun show, but then suddenly he took his mask off, and the entire show went to shit.
That we were having that exact conversation before this started, and this was the thing I have the online handle Digital Jawa. It's just what I go by, and so there was a thing about a guy in the desert who's got a brown robe, and so all my anime friends were coming up and going, "Oh, you should watch this. It's about this guy. It's kind of Jawa-like." And I was watching. I was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." And then it got to episode 3, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is your problem?"
Now, like what episode 2 had. I forgot the guy's name, and he's like one of my favorite manga authors ever. But like they just had like him in that episode, like in a slap fight with a guy played by Norio Wakamoto. And I mean, this was awesome.
Great.
That was great. Yeah.
But yeah, in everyone else's defense, Eric, we were watching it as episodes came out individually. Yes. And so we all were like, "Oh God, what did we just do to ourselves?"
Yeah, I remember that because you guys got me in at episode, I think 2. like or 2 or 3, and then because it was like I saw it and I was like, oh, this is pretty good, and then the very next episode he took his mask off and it just all went to hell. And but you
a
guys
show that would have been good for like 3 episodes.
My friends seem to do this a lot, actually. Like, the anime club here seems to get me at the exact wrong time. I remember they were all going, "You need to watch Gurren Lagann," and they brought me in at episode 4, which is the worst episode.
Oh, the really badly animated episod?
Yeah, it was with the guest director.
And I remember going,
Osamu Kobayashi. Yeah, he was actually the director of like Paradise Kiss and Kimoguri Orange Road. Like, he's a talented guy, but that episode was just out of left field.
We don't know what happened.
Yeah, and I remember going, "This is what you guys have dragged me down here to watch." Let's see, well, they're not; these aren't in order, but number next is Bleach. Oh my god, guys, pick what kind of anime you are. Are you a Hollow of the Week anime? Are you about a Soul Society? Are you about? I mean, what the hell? And why is everyone in love with this? It's just Dragon Ball Z with swords. I mean, come on, guys. That's what you're doing here.
Dragon Ball Z is more coherent.
Yeah, exactly. Dragon Ball Z is more coherent
God,
than
it pains
Bleach.
me to admit that, but it is.
Now, I'm actually, of the 3, like, shonen shows, or Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, Bleach is the aesthetic that I like the most, and so I'm trying to get into it. I'm only, like, 8 episodes in or so.
Oh, well, that's where it's still good.
We got some email from people telling us, okay, this is how you watch the show, and this is what you skip, and this is what matches up with the manga and all that. But there are big complaints about that show, I know.
Oh yeah, well it changes what kind of show it is like 3 times. And also, I'm just not a fan of any show that you need, like, a roadmap to watch. Like, that's what my roommate's really into Bleach, and he'll go, like, no, you just skip this arc, and you watch these, and it's like, okay, any, like, show that I have to skip a 4th of is probably a bad show.
Yeah, I really liked early in the show when it's Ichigo and his basically normal human friends busting ghosts, and that's sort of cool, and then it turns into generic shonen crap with everyone coming up with the most new powerful thing ever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then next week there's a more new powerful thing ever, and yeah,
I'm waiting for them to bust the ghost of Frieza. Like,
on the other hand, Rangiku. So
oh yeah.
There are some lovely.
Is it really that
female
bad a
character
show now?
designs. There's some lovely female character designs in that.
That can only go
I was
so
actually
far.
I was actually talking with my friend about the show, and he's like a super big One Piece fan. And I just mentioned, the Bleach females, and he said, yeah, that this is the show that's got the best-looking females of any of the 3 shows. But that doesn't necessarily make it a good show. In fact, that can make it a bad show. So.
And I guess to keep it all grouped together, we'll go to the next big show, which is Naruto, which is on my list.
God, I stuck with that for about 200 episodes before I finally said, fuck this.
I don't actually mind the Naruto anime as much as I mind the stupid fucking headbands everywhere on everything at anime conventions.
So this is not necessarily a strike against the show, it's more a strike against its fan base.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying I like Naruto, I'm just saying that I'm way more annoyed by the fact that there's a headband. Like, they sell, you go to these anime cons and there will be booths, and all they sell is Naruto headbands with different symbols on them.
Yeah. I was sort of insulated from the fan base when I was watching it, and I watched it till the Euro filler. When they gave me literally a season of filler that got progressively stupider, I said, forget this. Then they started the new season, but I tried to watch it, but my heart was just out of it. I couldn't do it anymore.
I actually watched I actually watched up to about I watched 10 episodes of this and hated it. And I hated it because the main character is the worst main character ever.
He's so annoying.
He is.
Like, I'm right there with you on that one, Gerald. Like, that's how I watch shit. Like, we were showing it pretty regularly at the Anime Club for a little bit, and then I'm like, why am I watching this when I can watch One Piece? Like, really?
I developed a love for some of the secondary characters in that show, but
nobody loves Naruto. No one likes Naruto.
No one likes Naruto.
Everybody likes Rock Lee. Everybody likes I don't know, whoever else, Tsunade or like Sakura Kakashi, or whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody likes Naruto.
Not really, no.
Yep.
He has occasional moments where he's almost cool, but then he screws it up somehow. And you go, now, I really don't like Naruto. I forgot.
And I was talking to someone about the show who was really annoyed with kind of the conceit of the show, which is that Naruto is this amazing person who can learn things really quickly. And they were talking specifically about Rock Lee and the Rock Lee fight. And it's really annoying because it goes against everything that, a young person should be taught or should be shown, and that is that Rock Lee is this character who works really, really, really hard. He works so hard, and he learns these moves, and he just works and works and works at it, and he fights Naruto, and Naruto learns his moves instantly and defeats him. What does that show you?
Remember, kids, can't win, don't try.
I think it was Sasuke who does that. I don't remember Naruto fighting Rock Lee. But either way, it's still a bad message.
Maybe again, this is something I heard secondhand because I didn't actually watch that. And I wouldn't be bothered to watch that much of Naruto.
Exactly.
Unless this actual episode was in the filler somewhere and the filler was crap.
Let's see. Next we have Fullmetal Alchemist the movie. Mainly because I am a history major, and let me tell you, the Philosopher's Stone is made from people in Nazi Germany. That was not fun for me.
So this is something that hit you, again, not necessarily awful on its own, but awful because it hit your personal sensibilities.
Oh, it was pretty awful on its own. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You don't like Nazi Maze Hughes and Hitler's rise to power?
Yeah, that was pretty bad on its own. But there is just that special twist in the dagger that got it on this list by me being a history major.
And it gets extra bad.
Okay, what did you think of the TV series, though?
It was okay. The first one was meh. I kind of stopped watching after episode 16 Basil, something like that. So
I watched all the way to the end. I really liked it up until they pull the big twist on where the portal goes, and then I was like, "What? Really?"
I think I watched about 10 episodes of the show, and the show is directed by my least favorite director ever, Seiji Mizushima, and the one thing that he does that doesn't necessarily annoy anybody else but annoys me, because I've seen it in every single one of his works, is that he is the least funny director I've ever seen in my life. And he will push jokes constantly very hard that are never funny, like the fact that the main character is short.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll push this again, and they'll push it again, and it wasn't funny the first time, and he'll push it again, and again, and again. And if you watch Generator Gaul, which is one of his first shows that he directed, that's the same thing that they pull. It's just the same jokes again and again that are never funny, and he's very well known for that. Well, not well known at all. He's actually something that I just know him for, and that annoys me greatly, and I couldn't deal with that show.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of running gags that were not funny in that show, now that I think about it.
But I really do think the movie is just the
movie's the epitome of the badness.
All that was wrong.
Yeah, everything that was wrong with Fullmetal Alchemist, the first series, came to a head.
The movie's firmly past the point where it's ignored the manga because the manga hadn't really been finished, and it goes off into its own way, and it went further into that own way. It was just digging its own hole.
Now, is the movie... I've heard this about the movie from I don't know, this was not necessarily the most reliable source, but that the movie is basically the equivalent of fan fiction in that it kind of sets up the characters and situations now the two main characters live together and are brothers, and they were brothers before, but they now live together and stuff. And
don't remember the details very well, but it does feel very much it comes off like fan fiction.
It is very much someone it comes off like someone saw the last episode of the series and then went let's write a fan fiction to finish it.
Well, I gave it the same sort of general loose, crazy, but not good. I mean, they didn't know what they were doing like Advent Children did.
Let's see, what if Mustang was a depressed hobo? What if we got two of the homunculi to fight?
What if we brought Hughes back? What if we brought him as a Nazi? How about that, guys? That'd be crazy.
Hey, be a smarty. Join up with the Nazi party.
And
I feel like I'm bashing on the fan fiction writers a lot, but that's generally my standard for bad writing is fan fiction.
Well there is some truly atrocious fan fiction.
There can be good fan fiction, but you're polished,
No such thing.
Published. There's some decent fan fiction out there, but you're
Hey, I wrote this wonderful thing about the Gundam Wing Boys and Mr. Cheese Van and the Little Escaflowne. It was awesome.
Look, no one has read my unsung opus about the Star Trek Highlander crossover, but still, the point is...
Then we'll have to read the 300,000 others exactly like that.
But the point is that your polished, published, put out there work should not remind you of fan fiction.
Yeah,
this is true.
Well, now you just remind me of the one really bad Fushigi Yu-Gi-Oh! AV, like the last one they made. That was absolute utter shit. Even if you liked the show, it was absolute utter shit.
Let's see. Next is Powerpuff Z. Powerpuff Girls Z. Because
Powerpuff Girls Z?
They took everything fun about the Powerpuff Girls, and I just don't think Japan got it. It was one of those things where I think that some guys watched the Powerpuff Girls and were like, "Oh, okay, I see what they're doing," and they took the wrong elements.
They did show it in Japan. I guess they just liked different things.
Yeah, it was very strange to me.
It's the full circle though, because Powerpuff Girls was meant to make fun of like cute anime.
Of cute anime, exactly.
Now anime was made of it. It's the full circle. But yeah.
Circle of life on that one.
But it is a really good case. Like, many times we'll see something like, borrowed for Japan and totally screwed over for American audiences. This was just the inverse of that.
Yeah, this was the Fox Kids or whatever One Piece of
yeah, it was just
anime.
Almost interesting. Of course, then there's things where like the X-Men cartoon got way better opening than Japan than it did in America.
So does Transformers Animated. That has an awesome Jam Project opening. It's still the same show.
But that one's pretty self-explanatory. Chobits, oh my god, if I have to hear the word "chi" one more time in an anime kenshin. You don't hear it so much nowadays, but man...
Or pantsuit.
I haven't heard it in like 5 years or so.
Like, I've heard it more recently than 5 years ago, but man, I hated
that show
so much.
was like the best show ever made when it was first coming out, according to the internet.
Yes, it was.
I remember multiple people putting this as like one of their top shows ever made. This show is amazing. There could never be anything wrong with Chobits. It is an amazing show. And then it just was it was crap.
It was terrible.
It's clamp crap.
Well,
this is actually the first show that made me go, yeah, maybe Clamp isn't always good.
I remember being really excited.
Wait a second. When is Clamp good?
I really like Magic Knight Rareth and Miyuki-chan in Wonderland, and that had been the extent of my exposure.
Now, Magic Knight Rareth, were you watching the TV series
series.
Were you reading the manga?
TV series.
The TV, and you're supporting that second season?
I kind of like the second season.
Uh-oh, we got another Highlander fight on our hands.
The second
season
where nothing happened?
Yeah, but it had an Ixer homage.
Now we understand why.
Okay.
I maintain that Clamp are very talented artists when they let Mokana draw. Now their stuff is very generic looking, but they can't write at all. But Miyuki-chan in Wonderland was entertaining for the 30 minutes that it was. But if it were a show, it would have been bad.
Yeah, once we're back again to that, as a one-shot, it worked. If it was a TV show, it would have been horrible.
Like, Clamp's really good at starting ideas, then they get bored and go do something else.
Yeah.
Like, X, the TV series, X, I should say, in general, that show, they have got every ending that they could hope for already done by other people for them. And they still, I guess they just can't get the deal together to get the manga ever going again. I don't know. Clamp disturbs me. Like, people hold up Cardcaptor Sakura as one of the best things they've done, but that is a show done by a bunch of perverts, and it shows very clearly.
I'm actually somewhat fond of Angelic Layer.
Who did we know that was big into Cardcaptor Sakura? That's not Amy. We knew a boy that was.
Brad?
Was it Brad or Barry?
I don't remember anymore.
Oh man, because he's just talking. Talk about they're all perverts, man. I remember somebody being really into card captors for all the wrong reasons.
But that show, it's like Sakura wants to shtup her older classmate, and then Tomoya wants to shtup Sakura, and then Tomoya's mother wants to shtup Sakura's mother, and then Sakura's brother wants to shtup Tomoya's brother, or no, his best friend.
Everyone wants to
everyone
sleep
wants
with someone.
Yeah, I mean, this is a show for little
plan.
girls, and it's a show for little girls done by a bunch of perverted ladies. So, and it's very, very obvious.
All right, let's see. Gundam Seed.
But that is a
done.
tangent.
Is there anything else on your list, or is that all of it?
No, I got one more, and
Okay.
it's Yu-Gi-Oh. Because
Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know why. It annoys the shit out of me. Also, I'll admit that I played a lot of CCGs, and Yu-Gi-Oh was one of them. And it was the anime would cause people to bring things to play that were not good, and it was very sad to crush something that someone had seen on TV and had gone, "Oh, this is really awesome because I saw it on the TV show." And no, it's not.
Now, I'll express
So,
some
did you
love.
Did you like the game and not like the TV show?
Yeah,
Or did
it
you
was
not like any of it?
Well, the game was pretty simplistic, but it was pretty much the only deal besides Magic running. Like, so I was playing it and Magic for a while, and but you'd go to these big 1,000-person tournaments, and your first three opponents would be, and I'm not talking little kids. I mean, they'd be like 21-year-olds that had seen something on the Yu-Gi-Oh anime and decided to build a deck out of it, and you just have to crush
Now,
their soul. So.
I thought that the show itself prided itself on never ever following the rules. Ever.
Oh yeah,
No.
never. They do not. Which was what made it even worse. Like.
Now, what most people don't remember is the first Yu-Gi-Oh
first Yu-Gi-Oh
anime
game.
or the manga before it got to the card game. I loved that. That was
That
awesome.
was just about like regular. It was about like random like different games, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like,
he
they
just
didn't
had
get
there'd
to-
be random games of chance again with like some
Yeah,
bully or criminal or jerk, and Yugi's at that point seemed pretty evil. Alternate personality would like once the person that he's playing against lost, he'd just melt their
And
brain.
they steal their soul, right?
It'd be awesome.
Like,
He
So it's
just
kind of like-
crush their soul. It was
kind
awesome.
of like kaiji for little kids then.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
exactly.
fun. That was fun for a while. Then they did one story arc with the card game, and went on as normal for a while, and then suddenly it became all about that
all
card
about
game.
the card game. Well, I don't know. Like I said, its personal annoyance factor for me is that I guess I should have been grateful for it because it made the first three matches in a tournament easy. But like, it's just really sad to crush some guy who's driven 6 hours to this tournament's poor little soul because he thought something that Yugi did was cool. And
No, I kinda
He
did
sounds
like
like
the
a
card
pretty
game.
sad individual in the first place. So you
Well-
probably.
Well, he
Probably
was
didn't
playing
have far
Yu-Gi-Oh
to
as a
fall.
card game. I mean, come
well,
on
there were
now.
like three of these sad individuals in a row, and it would be like.
I'm sorry I killed your three blue eyes.
So maybe when
white dragons.
Konami killed the game in America, they were trying to do
They're
everyone
trying
a
to do
favor.
the yeah. I'm
Is
glad
that
I
what they're
I'm glad I
trying
got
to
out of that years ago. But yeah,
I still have some cards if I bothered to dig them up. I've got a couple decks worth at least.
no. I'm too poor now. College means you can't play any CCGs.
Well, these are just stuff I had bought when the game was shiny and new, and yeah.
not unless you
Enjoy
abuse-
college while it's there. You've got more free time than you will ever have ever again.
You'd think that.
The problem is the 40 hours a
That
week
was my
job
situation.
Yeah.
with the 18 hours.
Okay, that does suck. That does suck indeed. But I know most of my friends, they worked part-time or didn't work. But if you do work 40 hours, that does suck.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where the tuitions keep going up and student loans don't keep going up. So,
Yeah, that
Indeed.
sucks. I feel for you.
but yeah, that's my list. That is everything there. So,
So,
Yeah, I had a much longer list than that, and I feel bad that
Yeah.
there were a couple of things that I left off. I was going to, talk about Ikitosen, or
Oh, yeah, that's
Moon
worthwhile.
Phase, or
Also worthwhile
Loveless,
pitching
or...
about.
what's
Yeah.
wrong with Ikitosen, guys? I thought Dragon Drive was. No, I'm kidding. Fuck it. Like,
Now, I'd like to give an honorable mention of crappiness for, it's not anime, but Robotech The Shadow Chronicles. That was crap. And it invalidated the novels. The one thing about Robotech I liked.
But I thought the novels invalidated the TV series.
Yes.
Already.
Yes,
Well,
they did.
yeah.
And that was what I liked about
So,
them. Because I don't know, I don't like the... Okay, yeah.
so then the Shadow Chronicles is actually invalidating both the TV series and the novels. So it invalidates everything.
I guess if you just watch the TV as canon, yeah, it would fit, but yeah. It was horrible, and you think it's roughly about the same time Macross Frontier was out in Japan, and you look
Right.
at this one-shot direct-to-video thing, and it does not look even remotely as good as a 26-episode TV series.
Yeah.
And it was bad. And it was just
I think
lame.
as soon as all of the Robotech fandom just gets it together and realizes that they made that show up as they went along, and this
Yes.
was confirmed by Carl Masek, then the entire world will be happier. It doesn't make your show worse. You just admit to how the show was made.
And, I knew Macross was... Once I discovered actual real Macross, and that was pretty awesome. And I'm even discovering that, Southern Cross is not total crap. And most PETA is solidly, mediocrely okay.
I like Mospeada, actually. It's got some good
it's
moments.
decent. And it's like, that's, hey.
Mhm.
I got both of them when, ADV stuff was going fairly cheap before it got awful expensive. I got
Right.
both of those in one little pack, and it was like, okay, this is less crap than the Masters part of Robotech. Yeah, this ain't bad.
But so there we go. That is 2 hours of us bitching about anime.
Yeah,
And I feel better off for it.
yeah.
It's. I should mention that yes, I do like a lot of anime. I passionately like and I passionately hate anime, and so there was a lot more of things on this list that could have been, but I could have easily done a show about best anime of 2010.
Well.
So I don't want to perpetuate the idea that I hate everything. I'm the biggest hater ever.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gerald. We'll have you on again. And like I said, this is the one time we've ever did a show about things we dislike. So definitely in the next show we have you on will be things something that you do like.
Well, we hated Chun-Li.
Okay, well that was an awesome crap.
Yeah.
We have a separate thing we call awesome craps for things that we really, really dislike. That's why this is probably the awesome crap awards for the,
I see.
for the crappiness of it.
But we live in an era where there's so much anime accessible to us. We can just go, this anime is shit, and
I'm
go on with
certain-
our
yeah.
lives. And
I'm
that's a
certain
good
that if
thing.
I were living like in the 1980s and I had this much access to anime, this list would be just as long.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
would have just as many things on it. So there's no era that had the greats in anime or anything.
There's
all
always been good
crap
stuff.
is spread out.
There's always been
Yeah.
crap.
Yes.
And on that note, thank you very much for talking with us, Gerald. Like I said,
Thank you very much for having
awesomecast.com, animeworldorder.com.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, that's animeworldorder.com. And check us out. We're trying to put stuff out a little bit more regularly.
And with that, we are out.
Good night, everyone.